Welcome back to the glorious fields of Perthshire, and as you can see, it is a beautiful day. It is about 22 degrees this week in Perthshire, which is about 74 Fahrenheit. So by Scottish standards, we're calling it a heat wave. Certainly for April, it's pretty good going. Now, you may remember my very good friend John McGarry invited me to metal detect on a medieval fort site in Perthshire a few weeks ago. And I managed to uncover something which at the time I knew was very, very special. I thought there was an outside chance it might be one of the rarest and one of the most important metal detecting finds that I've ever found. And I'm glad to say it looks like it may well be. Now, I contacted Treasure Trove in Edinburgh at the National Museum of Scotland, sent them a few photographs to find out what they thought, and they've got back to me. So before I go down to Edinburgh and hand over that find along with quite a large amount of other finds that I've made over the last few months, I thought, well, why not show you it all in the light box and get some opinions as to what you all think it might be, and more importantly, to what you can see. So as ever, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please hit the button and help support the channel's growth. So let's have a little look first of all at the uncovering of this incredible find. And a huge thanks again to John for inviting me out on his permission. He'll be coming to one of mine very soon. So let's go and have a wee look at this incredible find. This one is a cracker. Could be a coin. Could be a coin. Could be a musket ball as well. A very nice sounding 85. Come on. That kind of looks like an imprint. Well, it's not an imprint, it's the actual target. What is that? It's green, and it's definitely not a coin. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is something good. That's actually, is that mud? Or is that a piece of it? I think that's a piece of it. It flaps open. My god. Oh my god, that is something. That is something potentially incredibly good. Oh, I'm going to need to get John over. John! He's not paying attention. John! Right, folks. This that's the imprint of a castle, I think, inside that. And it's gold and it's red. That's what it looks like to me. That is what it looks like to me. What I thought was mud is actually two flaps. So there's a hinge there. Oh, it's got potential. This has got potential to be something pretty epic. He's using profanity. He says, I hope this is darn well worth it, John. Right, I didn't want to do that on camera because I didn't want to make a complete mess of it and break it. But look, there's the bit that came out. Oh, I've dropped it. Right, I think that's the first thing I've dropped. It's also probably the most important thing. But anyway, it was just mud, so it's gone. John might have found it. Oh, you got it, right? Oh no. Well, it's a bit of it, right? We lost the rest. But folks, oh God, get you in the focus. Now look at this. Look at that. That is, I'm pretty sure, a fleur-de-lis sort of shape inside there. And on this side, that is a castle. 100%. Or is that a shield? No, it's a castle. It's a castle, but you can see it is gilded. Potentially it's got writing all the way around it. And look, there you go, now that it's opened a little bit better. That is potentially an incredible find. Welcome back to the Lightbox. Well, I'm delighted to report that because it's had some time to dry out, since I found this, all that I have done with it is place it in a piece of tissue paper and put it away somewhere safe where my wife won't throw it out. And as a result of drying out, I have managed, without damaging it, to open it up. Now, you should never ever try and clean something like this or force it open should you find something similar. All I have done is literally from the moment I found this is place it in a little bit of tissue paper and leave it. Because if you clean this with a brush, as you can see, there is some gold gilding. In fact, when I found it, it was quite heavily gilded. You might have noticed that in the video versus now. But the soil, as it's dried out, has dulled down the gilding. So I am in no doubt whatsoever that when cleaned professionally and restored by someone who knows exactly what they're doing, that this will be brought back to its former glory. Now, at the time I found it, I could see in the top section red enamel, which I think you can just see glistening just now. And in the bottom section, I thought I could see blue enamel, which you can definitely see just now. Now, the million dollar question is, first of all, what are the little figures that you can see? Now, initially when I found it, I thought that the top was potentially a castle. And I'm pretty certain that that is the case. The bottom section I thought could either be a cross or it could be the fleur-de-lis. And I'm fairly convinced that it's fleur-de-lis. So, are you all in agreement? Do you see a castle at the top and a fleur-de-lis at the bottom? And if not, I would love to know what you can see. Now, around the outside edge of both, you can clearly see there is decoration. I don't think there's writing there, but there could be. Again, let me know what you think. Down in the bottom left here, does almost look a little bit like lettering, but I'm not convinced. The other one hasn't fared quite so well, but I am sure undoubtedly that it will clean up and it will look even more spectacular. So again, I'd be interested to see what you all think. Now, the million dollar question. I sent a couple of photographs as best as I could manage to Treasure Trove. And they replied to say, wow, this is quite a curious little find. It definitely to them looks to be heraldic. Now, when I found it, I wondered if it could be a horse pendant. And I also wondered if it could be some sort of matrix or a seal that would be used for wax. Now, the only thing about it being a pendant for a horse is that to me, the symbols are on the wrong side. They should be outward facing, not inward facing. And likewise, a seal, I'm not convinced either. Because when you try and impress that in a piece of wax, I think the other one is going to get in the way. And it would be a little bit fiddly to use. Also, you don't often see seal matrices which are enamelled. They're not unheard of, but they are unusual. So, Treasure Trove initial assessment based on a very poor quality photograph, they agreed that it does look a little bit like a seal matrix, but that they've never seen one in this kind of form. And they also said what I thought, which is it wouldn't normally be enamelled. Their suggestion was, could it possibly be a small reliquary? Now, my pronunciation probably isn't very good, not helped by my accent, but something basically that was used in religious service, religious ceremonies. A reliquary can also be referred to as a shrine. Often it was a little container that contained relics, sometimes related to a saint or a religious figure. So basically almost like a little mobile church or piece of prayer, I suppose would be the best way to describe it. Given though that I've never found one before, I'll be interested again to hear what you all think. Treasure Trove also agree with me that we obviously had a Jacobite connection with the castle, and they agree it looks much, much older. Medieval, 13th, possibly 14th century, and again, could even be slightly earlier, maybe even late 11th or 12th century. So likewise, let me know what you think. But either way, certainly looks like a castle surrounded by red enamel and probably a cross, or more than likely a fleur-de-lis surrounded with blue enamel, and both of them covered in gold gilt. Stunning, absolutely stunning. So when I put this into Treasure Trove, I'll let you know what their initial thoughts are, and if anyone has any ideas in the meantime, then let me know. Now on the exterior, it is very, very plain. You can see it's some sort of copper alloy. It has then been gold gilded, even on the exterior, because you can see little flecks, little hinge that runs across it. Then you can see it's got this curious little notch cut out the bottom, which I think is probably some sort of catch to keep it closed when it's not in use. But again, I'd be interested to hear what you all think. So do let me know in the comments below. And as I say, this potentially is going to be one of the best, certainly one of the rarest finds that I've ever found. So let me know. Well then folks, what do you all think? Is it some sort of seal matrix? Is it some sort of horse pendant? Is it some sort of requiem, some sort of religious relic, or something used in maybe a private church or a private religious keepsake? Whatever it is, I've hunted online, and so far I've not been able to find any parallels. So over to you all. Let me know what you can see, let me know what you think, and also give me an idea of a date. How old do you think it is? I really do think it's probably 13th or 14th century, and if it is, and if it turns out to be a matrix or a requiem or some sort of horse pendant, then it will definitely rank amongst one of the best and probably one of the rarest finds that I've ever made. So let me all know your thoughts. As ever, thank you all for watching. Thank you for all the support and all the opinions that I'm sure you're going to give. And as ever, if you're not already subscribed, then don't forget to hit the button and help support the channel. So thank you all for watching. Take care, and I will see you on another dig very soon. And thanks again to John for inviting me up on his permission. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.